Welcome to the SPE Podcast, powered by the Society of Petroleum Engineers. You're listening to the SPE Live Technical Director Series, HSES and Production and Operations, Opportunities, Gaps, and Outlook. The audio from this episode was previously recorded on June 4th, 2025.
Welcome to this SPE Live Technical Director Series, HSES in Production and Operations, Opportunities, Gaps, and Outlook. My name is Joanna Dunlop. I'm the head of membership at the International Association of Oil and Gas Producers, and I'll be your moderator today. Today's SPE Live will last 30 minutes. We encourage you to ask questions in the chat during the programme. It's now my pleasure to introduce our guests. Hamad Al-Marri is the incumbent SPE Production and Operations and PFC, so P&O and PFC, Projects, Facilities and Construction Technical Director. Hamad has been an active SPE member for more than 20 years. He started his career as an apprentice at Chevron in 1990 and joined Saudi Aramco the following year. He is presently working as VP Production Engineering and Well Completion Operations at Saudi Aramco with over 30 years of service in the oil and gas industry, having diverse experience in production, reservoir management, drilling and facilities. He has a well-established global network with IOCs, NOCs and major and global service companies. Currently, Hamad oversees oil and gas extraction from all conventional fields in Saudi Aramco, including some of the world's largest conventional fields. My second guest today is Sue Staley. Sue is the SPE Technical Director for Health, Safety, Environment and Sustainability. She's the Sustainability Director for vPSI Group, LLC, where she leads the company's sustainability practice. Prior to joining vPSI, she was the General Manager of Soil and Groundwater Technology at Shell, and she held various positions within Shell during her 18-year tenure. Prior to Shell, she worked as a consultant at ERM. She has been an environmental and safety engineer for 30 years. She holds a master's degree in engineering with an environmental emphasis from Purdue University and a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Minnesota. Hamad and Sue, welcome to this SPE Live.
Joanna, thank you.
Good afternoon, good morning. Two wildly different time zones, Saudi Arabia and over on the Pacific coast. So welcome to this SPE Live today. So let's get going with our talking points. Hamad, I'm going to land the first question with you. What are the current emerging technologies in production operations that are related to HSES?
Okay, yeah, first, glad to be with you, Johanna, and with Sue. Glad to be also with the audiences. The question, what are the current emerging technologies and production operations related to HSES? The intersection of health, safety, environment, and sustainability with the production operations are being rapidly transformed by several emerging technologies. Now, artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI can analyze vast data, train the model, and equip it with predictive capabilities in order to predict employees' behavior and build patterns. Machine repetitive failures survey the environment of the workplace, temperature, noise level, and other vital parameters. The model can predict the imminent injuries, gas release, or long-term impact on health. Now, the model itself can predict this, all these injuries and what could be issues in related to health, safety, environment, and sustainability. Now, another technologies related to the artificial intelligence is the digital twins, which can create the replicas of assets and processes to allow companies to simulate scenarios, test safety protocols, and optimize operations with safety hazards. Now, the robotics and automated systems play also significant roles in our operations, like remote operated vehicles and offshore operations, and a drone for methane detection, leveraging the state-of-the-art sensors.
Fantastic, Hamad. They are three absolutely phenomenal examples that we could unpack all afternoon. So thank you very much for that. It's a great start. Sue, I'm going to ask you, what's happening in the HSES world, this discipline where our job is to send everyone home safe at night, and of late we're expected to save the planet. So there's a lot going on.
Yes, Joanna. Thank you for the warm welcome, and Hamad, it's great to see you as well, and to be here with our live audience. We hope that you enjoy this live episode. Joanna, you know as well as I do, having been a former SPE Technical Director for Health, Safety, Environment, and Sustainability, that this area that we work in is constantly and rapidly changing, and the expectations on our discipline are so high because we're the discipline that the industry looks to send people home safely and also, to preserve our planet. It's quite a high bar that we in our discipline have to achieve. And, in this time with the advances in technology, Hamad just described so many of those advances. Our discipline has to stay on top of those as well and try to figure out how can we best utilize those technologies, not just to improve our production and our efficiency, but also making sure that as we're implementing those systems, that we're doing it in ways that can ensure that people go home safely. At the same time, we have to remember that, so many of the people in our industry work in very dangerous jobs, and there are human elements to what we do. And so there's always, no matter how much digitalization we have, there is still the human element that we have to remember and keep focusing on. So there's a lot of work being done around human performance and human factors. On top of the emerging trends like digitalization and operations trying to lower our carbon, minimize our emissions, the move to electrification, and also from a sustainability standpoint, how are we making sure that we're developing a circular economy where we're able to minimize our waste and put efforts back into use rather than just throwing things away. So I would have to say that right now it's quite an exciting time to be within our industry and within our discipline. At the same time, it's also very challenging.
Hamad, thank you, Sue. And you're right, the bar is extremely high and we have to be extremely agile and reactive and at the same time strategic.
Yeah.
PFC and HSES have a long history of collaboration in the SPE, and the most recent being the creation of the Methane Emissions Management Technical Section, which was incubated inside HSES. HSES picked up the weak signals, and at one point they were strong enough, siren calls, to hand them over to PFC. So what do you see next on the collaboration horizon for our two SPE disciplines?
Now, to build on this success and strong foundation, we should broaden our collaboration to include the other technical sections, such as flow measurement. This would allow us to focus more on the methodologies and technologies currently used to measure and detect methane emissions, and potentially expand to cover other GHG and fugitive gases. Additionally, collaboration with automated system and robotics technical sections could bring valuable expertise in using drones and other technologies to survey gas emissions from oil and gas assets. Now, another important area for joint work is sustainability, particularly by partnering with water life cycle and strategy technical section. Together, we could brainstorm and develop initiatives for recycling produced water or finding new ways to reuse it.
Music to my ears. Hamad, absolutely. And actually, you've made me think, when I was TD, as you said, I think we had 4 technical sections and we've over 20 today. So it's a phenomenal achievement over the last few years. Thanks for that, Hamad. So the HSES discipline is it's the smallest discipline in the SPE, which is one of the few professional societies to be multidisciplinary. And I like to think we punch above our weight. And I do know that the SPE values HSES members. So could you share your vision, particularly after your last 3 years as TD, of why HSES professionals should be interested in the SPE?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Joanna. And it's such an important question because I think that for people within our discipline, the SPE is not the first society that we might think of for our own professional development. And yet it is one of the best societies for our professional development because of the fact that it is a cross-discipline society. And so this society is where you go when you want to interact with other members of our industry, not just with HSES members, but all other members of our industry who are here to work together. And if you think about the different technical sections that we have, HSES has 2 technical sections at the moment, one for sustainable development and one for human factors. But we also have methane emissions management, which is co-shared between myself and Hamad. And we have a variety of people from various backgrounds in that technical section because that's what it takes to make an impact. We can't do anything on our own. And so this society is where we get to interact with others and make a difference. And so from a networking opportunities standpoint, you get to meet people from all over the industry, working on problems that you're working on, people from other companies who may be working on the same problem you're working on, people from other parts of the business who are working on what you are interested in. From a professional development standpoint, this is one thing that I personally found very helpful. I was given opportunities to lead in the SPE well ahead of opportunities to lead in my own company. And through those volunteer efforts with the SPE, it showed up in my regular work. So there's a professional development aspect to being a member. Access to industry expertise and what are people working on? What's the cutting edge within our industry? The SPE, because of its mission for knowledge sharing, is the place to be for cutting edge information, technology, emerging issues. And then from an HSES leadership standpoint, we have the opportunity to help drive the cutting edge issues within our industry. So I have a whole other list, but I think in the respectful of time, I will leave it there. And I just want to encourage anyone who is from an HSES background, come check us out. And for those of you who are not HSES and who are watching, get your HSES colleagues involved. Invite them to our society because we need them.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Hamad, would you like to weigh in on that question from the PFC point of view? In terms of the value of the SPE for people in your discipline?
Okay, health, safety, environment, and sustainability, the HSEC are critical areas of focus throughout the entire life cycle of production and facility assets, from the final investment decision of FID and design phase, throughout operations and continuing until decommissioning. Now, prioritizing the HSES at every stage ensures regulatory compliance, operational excellence, and the long-term sustainability of assets.
Thank you, Hamad. You're very passionate So both of you have pointed out to, about the SPE being multidisciplinary. And it's definitely one of the features of the association. Another remarkable feature of the association, I think, is the number of students and young professionals that we have in our engagement with faculties and universities. So I wanted to hear from both of you, actually, on the list of effective ways to integrate sustainability disciplines into petroleum engineering, but also the other disciplines that we're recruiting from into PFC or data or reservoir management, etc. How can we help our colleagues and that future generation? They're already starting to do it. The appetite is there. We see it. We see it in our Petrobol, for instance. They've sustainability questions. We've got a fabulous program lined up for ATCE on sustainability with the YPs. So how do you think we can work with the universities and with the students and help them to become citizen engineers, so to speak?
I'll go ahead and address that first, Joanna.
Thanks.
I think that, one big step that was a help for us was inviting students to be part of our technical sections. So now students have the opportunity to participate in technical sections. And so I think the more open we can be as a society to students, because we do have all these student chapters. So how, as a society, how are we speaking with those student chapters and encouraging the students? I think we also are relying on a lot of our professional members who are in academia to help connect us with the students. And as they're an important aspect of our society as well. So there's space for academia, there's space for students, and it's a matter of us working together and challenging ourselves to be more open and providing opportunities for students.
Thank you, Sue. Hamad?
Yeah. We need to start first to ensure that either the petroleum engineering students or any other discipline that are interested to join the oil and gas industry, that first to be a member in the SPE from the get-go. Now we need also to establish a good relationship with academia, ensure always that we're part of maybe the platform where we can review together the curriculum and make sure that we include all the modern, the new discipline that we believe that it's very important to be part of to add value to the graduates from the petroleum engineering majors. Now the HSES, it's a very important discipline area that always will have to make sure that it's integral part of any curriculum of petroleum engineering disciplines. In addition to that, we'll have to make sure that also they're equipped with the digital capabilities, the machine learning, the artificial intelligence, and to ensure that they can leverage it to do their major, the core business, but also to have the projects related to the HSES, especially in PFC, where we have the project facilities and constructions. And it's a very important part from the design basis all the way to the decommissioning of any assets.
Very exciting for any young person, I would have thought, to be part of this industry and part of these disciplines. We've got a question that's come in from LinkedIn. I'd like to take the question now. It's from Surendra Bateja, who asks, are we moving towards accepting AI and related technologies for HSES aspects? So maybe if you'd like to take that. Hamad, you started a little bit with that question earlier on. Maybe you'd like to unpack it a little bit further.
I think it's very important to equip the new comers in the oil and gas industries with these capabilities. It's really, these capabilities make the difference of any professionals with the booming in this area. And the huge value this area is adding to our oil and gas industry in terms of the productive capabilities, in terms of driving the costs and enhancing the efficiencies of the business and the performance of any operations. Everyone who thinks or she thinks that she wants to be at the top or in a very competitive position, they'll have to make sure that they come to the industry equipped with the basics and grow these capabilities as they enjoy the oil and gas industry.
Serious stuff. We've got another question coming in from Ahmed Abid. Can we use a special standard for HSES like ISO 14001 in oil industry, or must it be combined with others like ISO 50001 2018 on environment and emission? Can we answer that question?
Yeah, I think we can answer that question in the sense that the ISO standards are great standards. They're voluntary, so it's up to each individual company to decide whether or not they want to use a standard like that. At the same time, we also have a lot of regulatory regimes around the world. Some are better than others. And many of the regulatory regimes rely on standards such as these ISO standards to help demonstrate management and control of our safety and environmental performance. So I think that our industry benefits from regulation. It benefits from having some sort of a standardization when it comes to how to demonstrate that we are operating in a safe and environmentally efficient manner. Whether these ISO standards are the right ones, I think that's up for debate, especially since we're a global industry. It's hard to get aligned around a global standard, with the exception that some the industry standards that or guidance that associations like the IOGP and like IPICA put together are wonderful, because that is the oil industry coming together to standardize and to help as an industry, help our performance move forward. So I'm very excited about the work that's happening within IPICA and IOGP as it regards standardization across the industry.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the level of work that's being produced by both and by others, by Arbel, by API, other organizations, which in fact the SPE has very strong relations with and becomes a great venue and channel actually for those practices to reach wide audiences. So I think we have a third question from Patrick Akamba. How to anticipate machine learning will be used in predicting accidents, say during a wireline rig-up operation, so that action can be taken proactively to prevent these accidents. So,
can I take this question?
Yeah, please, Hamad. That would be great. And then we're going to start wrapping up, and I have a nice last question for you.
Now, the machine learning will depend largely on the data. And the data analytics. So, if you have the data, and mostly people in the oil and gas industry, they capture the near misses. And from the near misses, they can build, what trends and patterns that it can help to train the machine and eventually reach to the point that it can predict the situation or the behaviors of individuals in any workplace that there could be a source of risk. So this is how the AI would help in the future, even to hopefully eliminate or reduce to significant level the injuries and the incidents from oil and gas industries.
Thank you, Hamad. And actually, we've got one more question from the audience, which I couldn't possibly turn down because it's come from Tom Knode, also a former technical director of HSES. And I did not plant this question. The IOGP Land Transportation Safety Group is meeting in Houston this week and looking at new technologies for fatigue detection. The challenge is adoption of the 365 guidance. Any thoughts on promoting the uptake through the SPE? Sue, you might like to take it, and Hamad, you might have some thoughts too. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom, another former TD for our discipline. So I think it's a really good question, and it's one that we should take up and figure out what is the best way to help encourage adoption, because this group that's come together to identify an issue and then a solution in the form of a guidance would be beneficial to our industry. And this is where SPE is such a valuable partner to organizations like IOGP. So we could identify some type of event where we could help disseminate the information. I believe we'll have our 2026 International HSES conference in September of in the fall of 2026. If we want to do something even sooner than that, let's get together and figure out a webinar or some other quicker way to help disseminate information.
It's a great idea. Tom, you could host an SPE Live on land transportation.
Exactly.
So I think I'm under the gun here to start wrapping, and I have a last question where I really want to hear your thoughts. You're both coming to the end of your tenure, your 3-year tenure serving on the board of the SPE. And so I wanted to hear your words of wisdom that you want to pass on to your successors. So Linda Battalora, who's going to succeed Sue, and Hamad, I'm afraid I don't have the name of your successor. Who's your successor in PFC?
Greg from Occidental.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. So words of wisdom you want to share with your successors.
Linda. I think Greg, with the rich experience from Greg in the oil and gas industries and the production operations, he would be indeed successful to take the production operations, the PFCs to another heights of collaborations, and this is where I think we should always emphasize and enforce is the collaboration among us internally, the technical disciplines in the SPEs, because there are a lot of areas that we can work together to enrich the knowledge transfer, the exchange, working with each others and develop create ideas and develop initiatives, maybe even events where we can sit together with the members and brainstorm a lot of great ideas that can help us bridge some of the gaps that today we experience in the industries. Networking is a very important advantage that I enjoy it myself, so you should, and we'll have to make sure we as SPE members always capitalize on networking, because it's the key to transfer the knowledge and exchange it.
Thank you. Sue, your words of wisdom to Linda.
Yeah, I've known Linda for many years now, having served together on so many events. And so what I would offer to Linda is get ready. There's a lot of service involved in this role. It's a lot of fun. But it's also a lot of work, and just don't be intimidated by the amount of work because you will leave your footprints and your handprints all over whatever you choose to work on. And so I would pick 1 or 2, at the most 3 things you want to have achieved by the time your role is up in 3 years, and work steadily towards that. There's so many opportunities to do something here. So it's deciding what motivates you, what is exciting to you, and where you can have a lasting impact.
It's very, very wise. And I know certainly both of you are leaving also extremely strong teams to go forward in supporting Linda and
Yes.
Greg. And I really want to thank you both for your service to the SPE and to all of us as members over the last 3 years. Thank you for your time this afternoon. I think we're going to call it a wrap now. It's been wonderful listening to you. We've had some questions as well on LinkedIn that we haven't been able to answer, but I think we'll try to answer them offline, one of the three of us. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and Eid Mubarak, Hamad.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you,
John.
Thank you, Hamad.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to the SPE Live Podcast. For more content, visit the SPE Energy Stream, the industry's digital pulse, at streaming.spe.org. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to subscribe and review. Join us next time on the SPE Live Podcast.